Hey everybody, 50 Plus here. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about your choice of truck. Tubiest of the tubiest. The best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you. And I'm 50 plus. You know, a lot of people ask me this question. When they get out of school and they go to their carrier, or they're going to get their Swift, okay? A lot of people are watching my old videos, and I appreciate that as well. And a lot of people think I'm still there, but I've moved on to Melton, and I'm doing flatbed at Melton. I'm really enjoying it. Okay, and I'll get to that part here in just a minute. But their question is, when they get off their mentor's truck, what type of equipment they're going to get when they were with Swift. Okay. And the truth of the matter is, I'm touching my little stand. Sorry. The truth is, I don't know, but they have Kenworth, they have International, and they have Freightliners. And generally speaking, the Kenworths are set aside for million-mile drivers. Okay. However, you may very well get one. And they have Volvos too. I think they're light on the Volvos. And it's been almost 3 months since I've been with them. It's been 3 months since I've been with them. And things changing over there, like, the average person changed draws, they changed rules and stuff. So what I'm telling you right now is the experience that I had when I was there, okay? But whenever I answer that question, they're pretty heavy on Freightliners and Internationals. Then the person that I'm speaking with goes, I don't want no freight shaker. Look, you ain't paying for it. All you're doing is making money with it. Okay? And they're not going to put you in trash. Well, we'll talk about that another day. It never did me that way, but several people get trucks that they're literally trashed out. And that's not the norm, but it happens. Okay. Outside of that, those are just the norm with any carrier. I mean, you're not fixing to go get a Kenworth W900 or Peterbilt long nose, that ain't happening, and they're going to be automatic, okay? And that's because 99.9995% of the people who are getting a CDL today, getting into trucking, probably have never even seen a manual transmission vehicle, period, let alone getting into a truck and do it. And your CDL from those places are now. And I had a real problem with this at first. CR England did it, and I was telling everybody, don't do that. Don't go to CR England. They would put an automatic restriction on your license. But now everybody doing it. And that's because they're not ordering trucks with manual transmission. So know that you're more likely than not, in any company, starter company, you're more likely than not, you will not get a manual transmission. It will be an automatic, and it will be one of those I just mentioned. A few of them have Peterbilts, but the problem with Peterbilt is they are not service friendly. You don't take a Peterbilt to Love's and TA and all the rest of them and get a quick service because or repairs, because they're not allowed to do them because if they're under factory warranty, they don't let them do it. So you got to take it back to Peterbilt. The other guys a little bit more relaxed with that, and you can get serviced a lot easier. And that's important while you're on the road. Okay, but why would you care? Why would, as a company driver, why would you care about that? Because it's not your business, really. You know, the company paying for it, so who cares, right? So I get it, but being broke down is another thing, or being out of the truck for a while is a problem. That's why I mentioned that. But as far as quality is concerned, man, trucking in general is just that horrible, man. I mean, these trucks cost $160,000 to over $200,000, and if you get 50,000 miles of trouble-free service out of them, you are very lucky. So, what made me decide to talk a little bit about choosing a truck, or in most of the cases, when you go to a major carrier, you're not gonna really get to choose it. If they have a bunch of them out there, they might say, hey, go find one you like and come back and let me know what the number is. And that's happened quite a bit, okay? But for the most part, we're not paying for it as drivers. We don't dig into our pocket and pay a truck note. Literally, we do pay for it, but not that way, okay? And when we leave the truck there, so it's not ours. We're just driving it. So whatever it is, as long as it's comfortable and it gets you where you got to go and everything's working on it, then drive it, okay? So I'm driving, first off, Melton. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. We got interrupted by Larry, my mentor. This truck is a 2020 Kenworth, and it's got leather seats in it. It's pretty nice, man. It's a nice truck, and my only dislike to this truck is these super singles. If you got a choice to get a truck with super singles or duals, get duals. Do not get super singles. Don't do it. They're really they don't have much traction in comparison to duals. Other than that, I really wouldn't care. But I do like the traction, snow and water. But other than that, man, this truck's done really well. But it had this problem with the chems system, and it's a pretty new system, and it's a answer to the APU unit, and it's electric APU, and it runs off batteries. And then whenever the batteries in the chem system get low, it starts the truck up and then charges the battery. It's kind of like the Freightliner has optimized idle, and in the Freightliner, that optimized idle was, man, look, that's something that's worked every time. Never had a problem with it. But I was having trouble getting this thing. I don't think it still works. They fixed it, supposedly fixed it, but y'all know we've already talked about taking your truck to the shop and getting it fixed. They don't fix shit because they don't know what they're doing. Pretty much, that's just the bottom line. Okay, and I tried it the other day. They still didn't work. But anyways, I hadn't had any issues with this truck. I kind of like it. However, fleet-wise, and Melton's got probably 90, well, that number skewed now, but they were like 95% Kenworths. But y'all see that? I took that at the yard when I was back in Oklahoma, and Melton has bought a crap load, man, of Freightliners, and it's because they having so many problems with these Kenworths, and I honestly didn't have any problems with the Freightliner, and I got in one. Yeah, it's pretty decent truck. Melton don't buy that bottom line, with like cloth interior and no gauges and no dump valves and stuff. No, they trucks are pretty comfortable, and they don't have to buy that stuff with them. They could strip the trucks down, but Melton has made the trucks at least comfortable for us. And you know what I didn't check though? I didn't check to see if the upper bunk had vents up at the top. I can't even see this one because I got the bunk up, but I believe this one has them. That Freightliner did not have them, and I didn't look at the one at the yard that Melton is buying to see. And the reason why that's important, because if you was to sleep in that bunk up there in the summertime, holy shit, it means like literally the difference. And this is no, I'm not exaggerating, none of that. The temperature from the bottom bunk to the top bunk is probably about 40 degrees difference. That is, I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you, if it's 60 degrees down, it could be near 100 up there. That's a fact, man, because it gets no air. And my students would suffer until Chris, one of my students, bought a fan and put a fan up there. Oh, you know what? This truck comes with one of those fans too, already mounted. And it's a Kenworth fan. It comes from the factory like that. But the ones they had over there at Swift, they didn't have that, and it was unbearable. But he put that fan up there, and it started circulating the air up there, and it absolutely fixed the problem. But, anyways, I like Freightliner. They can be serviced at anywhere, you know, and they're a little rough riding. Okay, they hit bumps pretty good. You're gonna know you hit it, but that is not necessarily the truck, but the cheap level of suspension that was optioned when it was built by the manufacturer and spec'd out by the carrier. Okay, because you can buy the truck with different suspension in it, and it rides a whole hell of a lot better than the chuck wagons that put us in. But other than that, man, I had no problem with that Freightliner. Well, let me back up a little bit. My first student, that girl, she had, I had my students do the pre-trip so they get used to doing pre-trips. She came back, she said, hey, the drive axle looked like it's leaking from the seal. And I was like, they all do that. The truck was like, it might have had 5,000 miles on it, right? You know, they do seep just a little bit. It's just the nature of them, right? And then we went to a fuel stop, and when I got through fuel and looked at the tire, and the whole ground was covered with differential oil. When she said there was a leak, I should have looked, but I didn't. But that's not necessarily a failure of Freightliner. That happens in shipping, because when they piggyback those trucks down the road, they put one on the back, and the rear axles is rolling. They take the axles out, not the drive shaft. They take the axles out. But then when they get the truck to the yard, they deliver it, they put the axles back in. And didn't torque it down right, and it leaked. And so that's a common thing, because as soon as the guy looked at it, he knew exactly what was going on. Okay, but other than that, that Freightliner was fantastic. They have a lot of room inside, and I like the way the cabinets are set up. This one isn't bad. You know, this truck is pretty cool. This is a mid-roof, not a two-story like the one I had with Swift, but the one I had with them with Swift was really nice. It's a big cabinets and a lot of space. I really like that truck, and you will too. And so at the end of the day, you know, I'm rambling, but at the end of the day, what I want you guys to understand is, number one, we don't pay for those. Those trucks belong to the company, man. Just make sure you get something that's good, clean, will get you where you want to go and make that money for you. And then work with it. Okay? Now, you can also go to, and I keep bringing up Prime. The reason I bring up Prime is because you can go over there and lease a truck. You can actually pick a truck you want to lease and then and get after it. And then they don't pay cent per mile, so to speak. You can get you can do the percentage with them, which takes a lot of stress off you, you know, and it makes you more money. But bottom line is, you know, I just want you guys to understand, these trucks they belong to the company, they don't belong to us, and be comfortable. And if a company as successful as Melton would go out and who bought off Kenworths and then go out and buy thousands of Freightliners. Obviously, they don't make those decisions lightly. They know what they're doing, and they're doing it for a reason. This Freightliner is a good truck, okay? So all you guys that's going, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that, man, come down off of that. Come down off of that. We're just getting started in this business. The day will come where you get to go to the dealership and say, I want this truck, I want you to build it this way, and then it's yours, and you're paying for it. Then it makes sense to get what you want and have something to say about it. But until then, just relax, and roll with it. You're going to be just fine, okay? Freightliner is not a bad truck, and none of them are I would say a shitload better than the other one. It's just some that's got better perks. If you buy a Peterbilt, you're going to get a truck that's like Cadillac, okay? They're nice, but they still got their downside, okay? You have a problem with one and you'll find out what I'm talking about. Freightliner is like a Chevrolet, Ford. They're going to do the damn job, and it might not be all that sexy, but it's going to do the job, and it's going to do the job very well, okay? I hope I answered your skepticism on with Freightliner. Okay, so I'm going to end it with this. Let me tell y'all something. If you want to get into flatbed, you need to give Melton a call. I feel really, really, really good about the choice I made to come to Melton. Okay, I have been very, very fortunate in life, period. But in this industry, I've been very fortunate that to make some really good decisions. And to come to Melton, bro, I advise any of y'all want to get into flatbed, come on, join Melton, man. I just walking the yard and looking at all these brand new equipment they're getting in, and this in retrospect now, come on, let's put the perception on it, the perspective on it. This is not a mega carrier, okay? They don't have 20,000 drivers. So when you see hundreds of brand new trucks and hundreds of brand new trailers, and then other 100 trailers with red tags on them stacked on top of each other, that tells you something. I mean, they're obviously doing well. You don't have to worry that they're gonna give you a message on the Qualcomm, tell you leave the truck where you at and find your way home, we shutting down. And I haven't gotten a piece of shit equipment yet. You keep the same truck, but I swapped out trailers on several occasions. I hadn't gotten a bad one yet. Well, it wasn't the trailer's fault. I think it was just frozen from ice. The trailer jack, when I was up in North Dakota, I think the gears froze in there, and then one jack went down, the other one stayed up, and that was a problem, But that could happen on a brand new trailer if it gets frozen. That's not the equipment fault. It's like 30 below zero or something, 20 below zero. It was bad. But I hadn't gotten any bad stuff, man. None. The equipment over here is fantastic, and to see them purchasing new equipment for us to drive and use, and I just, it speaks volumes to me. Okay, I don't know how you guys want to take it. They're gonna say, 50, you always positive about everything. We don't know who it is. Well, I'm gonna tell you like it is. If it smell like turds, I'm gonna tell you that's some shit over there. But if it's smelling like roses, we got about 2 more weeks of the honeymoon phase, and then that 3 months is done, and it's gonna be a full-fledged marriage, me to Melton. So, I'm still in the honeymoon phase, but I'm telling you what I've seen. I'm showing you the pictures of it, right? So I'm not lying. Okay, so hit me up if you wanna come to Melton, and I'll let you know who I spoke to, and I'll let you know what I know. When you're coming in brand new, I don't have a whole lot of information about that because I came as an experienced driver, You don't have to have experience here at Melton. You just need to have your CDL, and they'll put you with a mentor. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, because I'm learning as I go, but I'm a kind of a personable guy, and I ask a lot of questions to other drivers, and I can ask in a way, and I can kind of vet a person before I start talking to them to see if it's somebody that I want to talk to, and I pick up a lot of good information. I'm parked right next door to another Melton driver. Here, I'm in Wichita Falls, Texas, and if I cruise through the yard and I see another Melton truck, I try to stop and park and talk to them, because I get information that way. I learn. Okay, that's how I do things. But yeah, I'm positive about things, man. Why go through life negative? You know, of course I'm positive about things, but I'm positive that this is a good company for you to come play. So you want to come play some flatbed? Come get some flatbed in your head with Melton. Deliver undistracted. Here's your boop, and don't be tripping on Freightliner. That's a damn good truck. Here we go. Yeah, boop.